If you want to imagine the future, imagine attack ships on fire. Imagine now, but hotter, through cyan filters. Imagine digital watches. It's logical to talk about your generic and baseless predictions of the future around about the new year, so because of that I thought I would do it in October. Make way for Monsters Month, yeah. Because they're doing it, what's his name, is doing Rob Zombie. He's doing a film about the monsters, Culture. You make me sick. Culture. Lasers. 8 o'clock. Day 1. It seems that the majority of the loudest opinions come from people who have a material interest in the future. Or I was going to say that. I was going to lead in to tech companies, but tech's only 10 or 11% of the American economy, so I mean, if I'm going to talk about corporate interest in the future, what does Budweiser want in the future? A smarter, faster liquor drink. Starbucks. Desegregated bathrooms by 2039 for all races. Pharmacies in the United States to pull out their phone lines, because what's the fucking point? But some of the big tech companies, because they've got to have an idea. This is what the city of the future is going to look like. It's going to look like now, but more people are going to be driving Fords, I guess. What was I saying? That's right. Some of the actual ideas from the tech companies are absolutely hilarious. Let's watch, shall we? Not least Facebook's imperious and revolting WeWork idea. I mean we as in Nintendo Wii, which Facebook's Metaverse is certainly reminiscent of. This bullshit here is the next big thing from Facebook, although they seem to say that about every maybe project they pre-announce, so who the hell knows. It is the future of the workplace, seamlessly combining real and video game like the kids have life, so that you can work at home but wear a digital blindfold and feel like you're still within the boss's range of leer and festering under the tube lights. Zuckerberg touts this as the next leap for not only House Facebook, but for the toil of the peasants themselves, and as his curious and cringe puff piece with Gale exemplifies, he either completely underestimates the pushback to this in the same way a mechanical thresher underestimates the strength of the human spleen, or he's actually planning to cash out and leave Facebook to someone actually willing to do some reputation laundering. It's probably going to take Bell Pottinger with a hydrogen bomb to get the stains out at this point. As well as this shitty above-the-waist only side of the metaverse that surely offers no meaningful advantage for adoptees, another part of the metaverse, if you will also play out through what are essentially Google Facebook glasses. Wear some glasses with a sort of augmented reality overlay, principally so that you can look at things and then be connected to a online store selling them. Great. Because I can't just look at something and then, I want to buy that. Yeah, I will. Oh, chuff. I have to look it up on my phone to buy it. Fuck that, I won't buy it at all then. Fuck off. It's just not convenient if I can't just buy it with my brain. When asked about privacy issues, Facebook said, well, if you don't want to be recorded, just tell your Facebook Google Glasses, that you don't want to be recorded, and then other people's Facebook Google Glasses won't record you. And then someone said, but what if I don't want Facebook Google Glasses? To which Facebook went, well, I guess the app developers, guys. I mean, we're just doing the hardware. I know Mark Zuckerberg gets a lot of hate, and take a look at him here, picture in picture. Note to self, edit that in, right, and edit that out. Edit this bit out, George. Don't forget. Picture in picture, yeah, that's it. Look at Lord Droid here, stood waiting for a car door to be opened for him. Like he can't open it in case a poor person's touched it. But don't hate on him, because I honestly think there is something. What does old Elon have in store for us? travelling through tubes at thousands of miles an hour, or in cars that use energy from the gas plant down the road rather than the one under the hood? Or should we invest in crypto, not because it's speculative, but because it can replace fiat currency, which is helpful somehow, and you can make good money on it? And, unlike Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson, he's not going to space on a jolly. His rockets are making spaceflight cheaper so that we can scoop up all the science up there to cure the sick and feed the poor. What about Commander Jeff?
For 10 fleeting seconds, it pirouetted through the air.
Then, there's the companies who think the future of online advertising is the virtual influencer. Actors with scripts performing what are ultimately commercials. This actual human is a SAG actor, but her social media presence is entirely scripted. She plays Tia, a character written by LA screenwriters. Yeah, the future of influencing is just back to commercials with actors and everything. Hi, I'm a level 7 YouTuber. I'm looking to go OT8. Could you fill in a comment for us to data scrape? You know when you were a kid and you'd see a sci-fi show, or you'd read something from the 50s or 60s, or 70s or 80s, that was set in 2050 and put us well in the future because by 1999 we'd colonized the moon. Something like that. And you'd think, even as a kid, you'd think, you idiots. I wonder what we are assuming. I wonder sometimes if, you know when you look outside and you think to yourself, you look over the bleak industrial, post-industrial landscape of not only homeless people, but people who are addicted to fentanyl and opioids, crack. You think, who'd have predicted this? And maybe we're all being super optimistic. And the future's going to be really bad. Do you ever think that? Do you ever think, like, oh, the future's going to be really bad? Me neither. So I wonder which prediction that we now constantly hear will be laughable in the future. Will it be funny that people thought that the 2020s were going to be the decade that they were going to crack AI? In the same way that we might laugh at 1960s optimists who thought we'd be living on the moon in 1999. But then there's a novel I accidentally read once when I was waiting for Alan Pegg to come on, called First and Last Man. And writing in the 1920s, the author seemed to think it would take human beings 300 years to get to the moon. So who knows, maybe in 2050 we'll all have clones, but I still won't be able to get 10 meg down. What's the future? Gene-controlled, automatic, autonomous, digital, algorithmic, thermobaric, nanoscopic, self-replicating things of ever-complicating magnitude. But it's a lot easier to think about the technology we'll have in 50, 100, 1,000 years than the culture or the social values we'll have. Yeah, in 1,000 years, we'll have technology that to us looks like magic, but I can sort of imagine that. Is society going to make 1,000 years of progress, or just be one of what we've got now, but shinier? The imagined future is either one to overcome, or one with the same problems. Those problems aren't lack of technology. Those problems are systemic corruption and social stratification. I think a combination of pandemic fatigue, overinflated house prices, and inflation that affects everyone will lead to a worldwide recession or depression in the coming years. And I think that will lead to massive social unrest globally across the political spectrum. And from there, well, I guess it depends on who makes that their opportunity. I've started having these dreams about this walk-in dude.